Hello there and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name's Andy and today we're doing a completed build video for my Revell Lockheed P-38 J or M Lightning in the 172 scale, which was kit number 04323. And I've been off for 4 days and this is what I've been spending a couple of hours a day, or slightly more than that probably, but I don't know, not one for counting time. So this is basically the completed build. As you may recall, this kit came with a selection of paints. It was from somewhere between 1991 and 2004, so I was curious to actually use the paints. It also came with some Revell contactor glue, which turned out to be pretty flaming useless, to be honest with you. It had gone a bit gloopy. And we also got this nice brush, which didn't actually have any hairs left on it. I think something had eaten them. But it is actually finding a use as a pointer. So we've also got one of our new toys out today, which is a little spinny turntable, which I kind of like. Got it off Uncle Jeff's Bargain Bazaar. Now, as you may recall from a previous video, we did actually have some issues with this. I mean, obviously with it being a older kit, I mean, I've identified it as being from a 1982 moulding, I think it was. So it's quite old, and it certainly really, in my opinion, isn't really up to sort of modern standards as far as detail and build enjoyment. Some of the parts, particularly around the engine, the cells and the nose, I found quite difficult to put together. This obviously may have been me, because I am a self-aware novice at the end of the day. It did require 8 elements of plastic putty by Vallejo to try and solve some of these issues out, and quite a bit of aggressive sanding afterwards, where panels didn't really sort of line up. I mean, you can see on this nacelle here, I really haven't got the line quite right. But I mean, at the end of the day, all these things are a learning process. When we came to use our Revell paints, we came to the realization that these are enamel paints and we've only got Tamiya acrylic thinner, so we couldn't really use those. We then decided to substitute our preferred method, which was hand painting with our flat aluminium XF16. Unfortunately, this paint has seen quite a bit of heavy use over the past 4 months, and in my opinion it degraded quite substantially and was very sort of heavy on thinner, and the paint in the bottom, when I opened it, was really quite congealed and it gave me quite a gritty sort of finish. Consequently, we had to get our sanding pads out and we had to take a lot of the grittiness and a lot of the actual paint off, and so we could go into the garage and finish the job with our airbrush. And because we'd run out of probably the correct colour, which is the XF16, we substituted it with this chrome silver X11 acrylic paint instead. The finish, I'm actually kind of happy with the finish, because it was a bit of a mess originally. So I mean, I'll pick it up and get it a little bit closer to the camera in a second, and we'll have a look at the underneath of it. But I'm quite happy with how it turned out. The other paints we used XF62 Olive Drab, which is for these anti-glare patches here. We used one of my favourite colours, which is Dark Iron, which is basically I just use on pretty much any sort of metal finish. Incidentally, a lot of these sort of things, like these exposed engine parts on the landing gear, I would normally do them in aluminium colour, because that's kind of the correct way to go. But with an aluminium plane, I kind of like colour variation, and everything being aluminium is kind of, well, it's a bit samey. So I mean, some of the colours, they aren't quite right, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's just the way I do things. I'm not exactly at the 100% accuracy level yet, because I'm not at the 100% quality yet. We did have a broken propeller on one of our propeller mountings, so we have actually managed to fix that. I think it was either this one or that one. We used white on the engine, the propeller spinners. We managed to get our yellow tips with some XF3 flat yellow, and this little yellow front section here. We used XF85 rubber black on our tyres, and we used XF1 flat black on any other black surfaces, which was pretty much the propellers I did the rockets in black as well. Incidentally, I've done all my other armaments, the pylons and the bombs in the dark iron colour. The gunmetal we only really used on the cannons at the front, which I'll be honest with you, I made a bit of a bodge with those because I didn't sequence them quite correctly. There is a gluey mess under here. So there's all the paints that we used. We used a combination of Tamiya cement and Tamiya extra thin. The Tamiya extra thin came in quite useful in the stages where we were trying to get these things to fit properly. So that's basically what we used. As far as decaling, I mean, I've decaled it up as per the box art, which every single thing you see on the box art I've actually included. With the decal sheet, and I kind of find this quite often, there's a whole load of these sort of caution and warning signs, and these are these red ones here are you put them around where the fuel intakes are supposed to be. There's actually, slightly confusing, there's actually two sets here because one's the J and one's the M, which I think is the night fighter variant, which comes with a enhanced bubble canopy and a radar operator in the rear here. So there are kind of like two sets of decals on this sheet. But the artist who did this hasn't obviously put all of these caution and warning signs and blah blah blah. So I mean, obviously, if you want to be hyper accurate, you put them on. But these are a bit of a nightmare. But then if that doesn't have them on, why should I? So there's a question for you guys for the comments box. I mean, obviously, I know that there are some hyper accurate model makers here. Do you put all of these on? Should I put all of these on? And obviously for some of the other model makers who maybe aren't quite as hyper accurate, should I put these on? Would you put them on? I think it's an interesting question because, you know, it kind of looks nice like that. We put all these things on it, and yeah, it's going to look like a bit of a pig's ear, to be honest with you. But there we go. So let's have a quick look at the underneath. I do apologise, Brian. You did recommend that I weighted the front of this down, and you are quite correct. I should have done. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a time delay from me doing things and uploading videos. So I think I got the advice afterwards, after I'd already kind of halfway got through it. And yeah, you were definitely right. It doesn't basically sit, and it does sit on its backside basically. So that's why we're using this bit of white tack here. The underneath of this, again, I'm quite happy with it. It did come with a sort of funny little thing. It came with Revell Incorporated 1982 on it. Obviously, you should really sand that off because it's a bit of a misnomer. But I left it on because I kind of found it quite amusing, to be honest with you. These what the hell are these? These undercarriage bays. This actually came as one section. So these doors here are not fiddly things that you have to attach. It was basically an insert that went in. And I was kind of impressed with that because these can be a bit of a pain in the butt to put on, but they don't really fit that well, I don't think. So I don't know. The pylons here for the rockets, there was no actual mounting points. There were pins on the pylons to go into a hole, but there were no holes. So I used a couple of modelling drills to drill some holes pretty much at random, where I thought they would probably go best. And the reality that I figured out is that if these went a little bit sort of leery, I'd probably take my propeller off. So obviously these should probably be sort of set over more to the extremities here. This one carries a couple of bombs. They wasn't really a very good fit, but I didn't really notice that originally. Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty happy with this because it was turning into a bit of an abomination with my painting problems, and then I just decided to airbrush it, and it's come out reasonably well. So like I say, I'm pretty happy with it. And it's, you know, it's a lot of people will take weeks to do these things, and I'm not really at that sort of hyper accurate, hyper detail, sort of hyper really good intention at the moment. So, you know, maybe in a year when I'm a bit more confident and have a bit more desire to make these things really good, I will do. But at the moment, I'm just quite happy just knocking a model out in, you know, 3 or 4 days as and when I can. So I'll put the under section on there on our cool little spinny device, and I'll leave you just looking at it. So we're up to 10 minutes. So if you bother to watch this far, I'll be uploading another video tomorrow, which will be a model haul unboxing which I'm going to dedicate to Psychodemix, who is one of my viewers and I chat to quite regularly. He's actually requested one, so there'll be one tomorrow morning. That's scheduled for, I think, 6 o'clock in the morning. As per the last time I did this, please do feel free to get involved with the haul unboxing. And if there's something there that you actually like that I've bought, there's some pretty tasty models in it, to be honest with you, please do drop a comment in the comments bar, and I will do a what's in the boxing for it, the selected model, as soon as possible. I'm actually going back to work this evening for four nights, although I might do some overtime. So basically, you know, if we can get sort of 4 or 5 what's in the boxes identified off the haul unboxing that are your choice, I like to involve you guys in the channel. They're the ones that I'll be doing while I'll be at work. Give us something to do. So thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. If you haven't seen the build video for this or the what's in the box for this, there'll be a link in the description bar of this video to the relevant videos. So be seeing you.